Hello everyone and season's greetings, welcome back. I'm getting in the festive mood, you can see here. This shirt got smaller. But if you're a Star Wars fan like me, this time of year is synonymous with the Star Wars Holiday Special. Yes, that thing. If you haven't seen it, it's a variety show special that aired in 1978, I believe. And yeah, it is something. It's something, alright. So when they were shooting the original Star Wars, they made lots of props and costumes for the movie. A lot of the props they got were rented for the movie. So when production finished and that was it, all the props had to go back to the prop houses that they got them from, which meant any mods that they'd done to the props, like on Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, had to be taken off and the camera flash handle just handed back. This meant that a lot of the props from the first movie just don't exist anymore. They've been absorbed into the world. So when they came to shoot the Star Wars Holiday Special in America, they didn't have a lot of the props, including Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. So they had to make it out of whatever they could. Luke certainly looks different in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Come on, Mala, let's see a little smile. There, that's better. Try to enjoy your life day.
But he's got a different lightsaber, and that's the one I'm going to build for you today. Let's go! So it seems like the prop department got the memo that the lightsaber was made from a camera flash handle and also a Graflex camera flash handle, but the only one it looks like they could get was a newer version, which is this one. You can see here it's made by Graflex, but it's very different from his movie lightsaber, which is the classic 1940s, I believe, Graflex, with the lovely swoop at the top and the bunny ears at the top. This one has none of that. It looks more sort of 50s and 60s. But this is the base for the lightsaber that they used in the holiday special. We're going to do a few mods to it. We've got to remove a lot of it and add our own bits. There's a shroud that goes at the top. We've got to make that out of aluminium. We're going to do that. We're going to paint some of the top. We're going to make this look a bit more pretty. We're going to polish it up. I don't think there's end pieces on there at all, so that's going to take that off and make our own bottom for it. It's got the classic Graflex grips, which are easy enough. We'll do those. There's a little light that goes in the top. That should be quite simple to pop in. And then the only other bit is a control box. It's got a box much like the clamp on the Graflex and on Luke's later lightsabers and Obi-Wan's lightsaber. But it looks like it's a custom piece or from something that we just don't know what it is yet. So we're going to make that probably out of styrene. Yeah, let's crack on. I think our first step is to disassemble it and see what parts we've got. It looks like we should be able to get this inner chassis out. So this bit on the saber needs to be black. I will paint that in probably with my airbrush, and then there is a shroud which comes up here, and I've quickly templated that on some paper, and I'm just going to cut that out of some aluminium. So for the grips on here, it should be pretty easy. I've got some T-Track. This is the same stuff they use on all the lightsabers and blasters and everything in Star Wars. I got this from super6props.com. I'm just going to cut this to length. It looks like on the reference it goes and just covers the Graflex logo up here. So I'm going to cut these to length. About that long. Which on mine now happens to be 10 centimeters. Pretty much exactly to cover that writing. So there we go. That's 6 grips. They're a bit bendy. Okay, I'm just tidying the ends. You can see I just cut a slight bevel from the top to the bottom, and this just makes them look a bit nicer and a little bit easier to hold actually. So I keep boxes full of parts. In here somewhere I've got my spare lightsaber parts. That's blaster parts in there. Like that. Here we go. Oh, I just have some grips. I could use those. In here somewhere is the card from my Graflex 2.0. There you are. Come here. There it is. So I think I'll just use that one. It's good enough for me. And I'll design my control box around this. So here's my plan for the control box. It's not too bad. I should be able to make it. I've mocked it up out of cardboard. So I've got 2 pieces. This piece will have a top bit on it with some rails and the clamp card. But I've just got to refine my measurements a bit, so it'll be a little shallower than that I think. Make sure my seams are below this edge. So I've got this bottom part made out of styrene. There he is. Now I'm just going to get it to fit on here. So I'm going to pop some sandpaper on here. Sand that, and then that should fit perfectly. I really like doing this kind of model making. It's a good skill to have, and it's one I want to keep getting better at. So for this little control box, we've got the box sort of roughed out. I've got my card here, which I will trim, and then there's some raised sections either side. So for this, I've bought some styrene tubing. So I'm just going to cut this to length. That's going to sit each side. They are tapered at each end, like a beveled cut. So I need to cut 2 the same. Looking good. So I also made this little configuration out of a little LED bezel and an LED that is glued in sort of to the right point. I've also drilled out the handle as well to take that. That sits in there and kind of looks the part. I've also had to grind out the inside, which you can kind of see there. I filed the top so that this can actually sit flush when that's all in. I like having that all in because it fills up all these little holes with actual stuff. Yeah. Firework. I think I'm now ready for paint. I need to paint this section here and my control box. And I think that's just going to be black to start with. Here's my control box painted black. I've just masked it up with some really thin vinyl masking tape, and I'm just going to paint on some silver details.
I've got all my parts knolled out. I think I'm ready to assemble the Saber.
So there we have it, one holiday special lightsaber. Turned out pretty good, I'm really happy. I ended up going for those grips I found in my box rather than the ones I cut before, just because they went on a bit better and I like the look of them a bit better. They're not as long as the ones I cut originally, but they still look great and they look nice and straight on there. Yeah. So it's something just a little bit different, not one you see an awful lot. I don't think it's enough to save the holiday special from itself. But the cartoon's quite good. Boba Fett. I hope you enjoyed this rather festive edition of Buckethead Props. If you want to see what the real lightsaber should look like, check out my video from last week where I showed the actual Graflex lightsaber. Look forward to more videos like this in the future, and I hope to see you there. Until then, take care. Bye bye.
Whip, 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 beat.